Okay, good afternoon, and I do hope that you are having a good time. Still part of my learning process. I would want to say to you there's only one way to improve in life, and that is to be an ever learning person. Ever learning. Everything in life must be learned. You learn everything. You learn about, okay, everything. And when you learn about anything, you know it. You do not know about what you don't learn from or about. You learn. I am still learning. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm learning remotely. Someone is teaching me from Abuja. I am in Jos. He is teaching me. I am learning. And one of the easiest ways you can learn faster is to put your hands on it. Have your hands on deck. Be involved. Now, you are not just learning when you only just keep mute, keep watching, and keep listening without practicing. Now, the practicing aspect of it is where some of us have issues. Now, a child that wants to learn about driving, you don't just sit down and be watching the guy pressing the throttle, the clutch, and then, the brakes and touching the gear lever. No. At a point, you've got to sit on that driver's seat until you're able to remove the fear of sitting on the driver's seat, of attempting to do things yourself. You may never know how it feels to do it yourself. I remember my late uncle, Uncle Sunday, Olabode, of blessed memory. May God bless his household. I was a bus conductor with him those days. He lived with my dad, and we used to go all the way from mile two area to a boundary. From boundary, we go to places like Oju Elegba, and then we go to Yigbo, Yaba, and then we go sometimes even to Idumota, Lagos area, and even sometimes we will come back to Orile Gomon down to you know mile two again, Badagry. We've gone all of that together. One of the days, in the nights, as we were going back to give the downfall in those days Volkswagen bus to the owner who lived somewhere around Koka village, and then we will still find our way back to our own home around the Owoyemi area. Precisely, I think we lived at number 200 in those days. This face me, I face you. So I'm just telling you some of my history. And I remember clearly that my uncle just, when we're about stepping into that road that goes down to the man's road, still a bit far from his house, from the major highway, he just said, Bossy, that's come here. He went down, and then as he got down, he put the pillow, dropped it, and he said, Joko, that's sit down. He said, oh yeah, face front, look at the clutch, look at the throttle, look at the brake. That night, he said, oh yeah, press the clutch. The engine was still running. I pressed it. He said, engage the gear towards your right. I did. He said, push it forward. I did. He said, okay, press the throttle a little bit. I did. He said, raise it, yeah, just raise it a little bit, and then you said, yeah, remove your legs from the clutch a little bit, and then you see, I saw the car moving, not jacking, moving gradually. He said, yeah, Ramalo, go gently. And I was going gently. The excitement of moving the car for the first time was there. I wasn't afraid because he was by my side, my coach. Now, we got to near the man's place. He said, yeah, take brake. The clutch, go to brake. I pressed the clutch, I held the brake. I said, what? He said, you need to press the clutch and the brake so that the car engine will not, the ignition will not go off. I said, oh. So after that, he said, put the gear in neutral. So I brought it back to the center. He said, okay, go down. Let's go and deliver the car. It started, so I look forward. You see, teachers and coaches who allows you to do it yourself, they are good coaches. Not the one that's always doing it, telling you to watch. No. So you see, after that night, I I had this looking forward in the mind of he's going to give it to me. He's going to. So even if I didn't want to go with him to do the conductor work, if you know what a conductor is, those of you that thought maybe some of us fell from heaven. When you hear things like Oyigbo, 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 Obale Dewa Oleo, but Agri landlord, you think maybe some of you don't know we could do all of that too, even up to Mushi area. Okay, Yaba, we went to all of those places. Boundary, Wilma. I went to all of that. So when you look at people at at a particular level, you don't know where they're coming from. Did you believe I could change my voice like that? That was just one side of me. There was another side that we went through all of that. But look at today. God polishes people. He polishes people. You never would have known if I never told you that. My present coach, who is right now watching, teaching me all of this, he knows a lot about telephones, a lot about phones, a lot about telecomputers, a lot about internet things. I don't know much, but he knows that one of the days when we were doing the radio on, he stopped, and he said, "Okay, sir, you be inside the living room. Let me go outside, work on the app that we're using, the software." And I told him, he said, "Just go ahead and do it. I'll be outside." He was controlling his own radio out there because we have an internet radio, Voice of Faith Radio Church. And by the time I did it and it was working, he came in and said, "It's working. Now you know it." I didn't know he was preparing me to travel. Imagine thinking of just taking me through a class for about 1 week. He just set up the radio. Everything was working fine. I was excited. I knew if I had a problem, I was going to call him. But he was preparing to travel, and he didn't tell me that he was going to travel out of town. So when I got it that, he said, "Sir, all you need is with you now." The next thing I heard, "I'll be traveling." I said, "What?" But thank God for internet, remote learning. That was when I gave him a nickname, the lecturer with a parachute. He got me up into the air, and boom, he went down with his parachute. And then he left me there hanging in the air. Thank God it showed me the button to press to come down. So in case you are listening to me today and you are learning comes with a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of patience. But you see, what keeps you going if you are learning is expectation, what you have in mind, the goal. Do you understand? I have gone through lots of learnings from different people, and one of the beautiful things about learning is that you should be able to learn from anybody. You should be able to learn from anybody, regardless of their age, regardless of their sex, regardless of their color, regardless of their ethnicity. Do you understand? Please learn, because when you learn it, it becomes your own. Today, there are so many things I can do that people of my age will be struggling to get done. So many things I can do because I don't discriminate when it comes to learning. Do you understand me? Don't discriminate when it comes to learning. Learning, forget about your class, forget about your age, forget about leave all of that. You don't know it, you don't know it. What you don't know seniors you. Do you understand? Learn. Because one of the beautiful things again about learning is that it gives you independence. Look at the graphics I did today about one man of God. I don't want to call the name. It's on Facebook. It's a quiz I put up. I got his picture when he was younger and then now. And then I'm asking a question, who is this or who are these? That graphics you see me today, I did it in less than 5 minutes and I used about 3 applications immediately. So they say there's something about when you learn, especially this generation, you learn from this younger generation. They know a lot. So please, if you don't want to be handicapped, you don't want to be kept at one point, you don't want people to meet you where they left you, learn. Forget about pride. Put away your status. Learn. Do you understand? Remember why you should learn? Once you learn it, it becomes yours. It becomes yours. As I'm doing now, this I'm doing now is learning. I'm applying, there's an app he gave to me that I'm using, and I told him to watch me at the other end in Abuja. I am in Jos. All right, lecturer, I hope I've done something today that I'll have a pass mark. Thank you, and God be with you all. If you want to learn this too, I'm willing to teach you. After this, I'll be able to teach my A group. Shalom, everybody.